There's a bit going on this morning when it comes to the Ukraine-Russia war. We had thought that maybe Vladimir Putin would be open to some kind of ceasefire. Well, it's looking like that's a long shot. Let's go to Michael Ware. Good morning. So, yeah, he says he wants more conversations, Michael. I mean, that's how these things kind of go, isn't it?
Well, you wouldn't expect otherwise, to be fair to the Kremlin. This has just been thrust upon them. And obviously they're going to need to take a couple of beats to consider it. The problem is they could use those couple of beats to manipulate this whole situation. We're about to see who really is the great deal maker. Because as the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, says, the ball is now in Russia's court, right? So from this point on, it's up to Putin. And he's already made it clear that, well, this is a hasty document. There's lots of questions surrounding it. And he may possibly impose impossible conditions upon this deal that it will never be made, because you've got to ask, what's in his interest for a ceasefire? On the battlefield, as grinding as it is, he's on the front foot. President Trump has already said to him in a private conversation, you keep the provinces that you've got, I won't let him join NATO. He sort of gave the house away. Now, in this immediate term, while Putin is considering this ceasefire proposal, he's already made two issues bubble to the top. Yeah. One is, he says, well, if we have a 30-day ceasefire, Ukraine's not allowed to regroup. They can't bring in more troops and train them. They can't rearm. They can't get ready to fight on. What, they've got to sit there and drink cups of tea. Well, what do we think Russia's going to be doing for those 30 days of ceasefire? They're going to be rearming to the teeth. Putin has also said, okay, if we have a 30-day ceasefire, who gets to decide if someone has breached that ceasefire? Now, that and many other questions are going to be discussed today in Moscow. Because on Tuesday, the Russians and the Ukrainians met, pitched the ceasefire, and today, this US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is in Moscow right now to try and thrash out some of these deals. But who's got the best bargaining position?
Well, I mean, it's a good point that you make, but I mean, Donald Trump's been using a bit of carrot and stick in the past couple of days, saying that if Russia doesn't accept the deal, that he's going to come down pretty hard. But therefore, to answer your question about what's in it for Russia, well, aren't there business opportunities between Russia and the United States that could free things as well? I mean, that would surely be appealing for Vladimir Putin, would it not?
Well, that's certainly, you're correct to point out, that's the carrot that President Trump is dangling. But put it this way, this war's been grinding on for, 3 years now? The Russian economy has not collapsed. The Russians have been very smart at finding new markets for their products. I mean, look at India, for example. They're buying vast amounts of Russian oil.
Well, and some of that comes here. So we're funding them too.
And so the Russian punter, and certainly the Russian oligarch, is not feeling the pressure. It's these poor draftees who are being sent over the top and getting slaughtered who feel the pressure. So, yes, we will use economic bait, but what's its value? Because what really matters to Putin, a former lieutenant colonel in the KGB and head of the FSB, what really matters to him is the global world order. And right now, he's achieving his wildest dreams. He's got US and Europe at loggerheads. He's got members of NATO sort of scrapping and trying to figure out how they sort of come together to fight off a Russian sort of invasion should it come. So he is slowly peeling apart the international order that the Americans and the rest of the West established after World War II. So he's achieving his lifelong dream right now.
Yeah, the KG man, he's wily as a fox. We know that, that's for sure. Not to be messed with, as we've seen.